Hello and good morning, everybody. Uh, Nice to meet you again. As I promised, today I'm gonna take a look at IELTS reading to know what does reading require you to do. So let's go together and then know more about the IELTS reading. Okay, then the IELTS reading. Last time we talked about the introduction, general introduction about IELTS, and then I talked about listening, and then I'm gonna talk about reading. So pay attention, and then let's know what are the important tips that we should have to follow in reading test or for the reading test. Then the reading skill for IELTS. First of all, the reading module will take about 60 minutes to complete, and the reading section consists of 40 questions. It means the exam, the time of the exam is 1 hour 6 minutes, and then the questions are 40 questions. Then reading differs from general to academic. It consists of 3 sections for both academic and general. So let's just have some notes about both of them, the academic one and the general one. Then after that we will be concentrating on the academic test. Then the academic test includes 3 long texts which are taken from whether books or journal, magazines and newspapers. This is from where they get the text of the academic reading test. Then 3 reading passages with a variety of questions using number of task types. In the reading test there should be 3 texts, okay, or 3 passages, okay, 3 passages with a variety of questions. The 3 passages will be consist of 40 questions. Means in each passage there might be 20. They might be in one side there might be 10, and in another one 15, in another one so on. So most of or all of the questions should be 40. Then in the general test includes extracts from the books or magazines or not. Then there are 3 sections in the general test. Section 1 may contain 2 or 3 short texts. Section 2 comprises 2 texts. In section 3 there is only 1 long text. Means in section 1 3 short texts, in the second one 2 texts, both of them should be short, but in the third one there might be only 1 and it will be long text. So the reading tips. So there are some tips that we should follow for the reading test, and these tips might be the strategy that you follow so as to get to to get the marks that you need in the test. If you follow these strategies, the test is gonna be very easy to do it. Okay, then one of the tips, the first one is don't read slowly. Don't read slowly means when you come to start reading the passage, don't read slowly, don't skim the ideas and scan details. To skim means to come across the idea quickly, like when somebody is reading a newspaper or whatever. Don't concentrate on the whole words, don't concentrate on the understanding of the passage. Just you should have to get the keyword and then keep on reading quickly, skimming and scanning. The second one, don't spend too much time on an answer or each question. So when you come to answer the question, don't spend too much time. Try to do it quickly. If you don't know the answer, mark it and move on. So for example, answer the question number 2, you didn't find its answer. So don't keep thinking or don't keep waiting. No, make a mark beside the question and then move on. Go to question, the next question, and then the next. Then after you finish the exam, if there is extra time, you can come and then answer the questions that you didn't find. Okay, their answers. 3, spend less time in earlier questions. Spend less time in earlier questions. How? The first passage is the easiest one, so try to spend less time in part 1, because as we know, usually IELTS start with the easiest question, ends up in the most difficult one. So since the first question is easy, so try not to spend too much time in question 2. Try to spare your time. Try to have additional time for the other parts. Then leave time for transferring answers to the answer sheet. So as we know that we have 60 minutes for the test, but don't forget that you should have to leave about 8 minutes as a transferring time for transferring the questions into the answer sheet. Number 5, 3 words or less. 3 words or less. What does it mean? What does it mean that 3 words or less? 3 words or less means follow the instructions. Before you start answering the questions, first of all, with any question there should be an instruction. The instructions that you should have to follow. For example, sometimes they write no more than 2 words, write no more than 3 words, write only 1 word. So if you are asked to write no more than 2 words and you write 3 words, so even if the answer is correct, you're gonna take it incorrect. Why? Because you didn't follow the instructions. So it is very important to follow the instructions. For example, here if I say the tomb of the Pharaoh, the tomb of the Pharaoh. So this one consists of how many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then when you suppose that this one should be an answer for one of the questions, and in the questions the instruction says that write no more than 3 words. So how can you write these 5 words in that space? So it should be written the pharaoh's tomb. The pharaoh's tomb. And we know pharaoh means the king of Egypt. We know the historical king of Egypt is pharaoh, and his tomb. Okay. Then number 6, spell your answers correctly. As we know that the spelling matters. Okay, so because the spelling matters, you should have to beware of the spelling mistakes. The task types in reading. So there are some types for the reading test. Let's go together and know what are the task types in the reading test. One of the task types is multiple choices. As we know that multiple choices is found in listening, also is found in reading. So what should we do for the to answer this type of questions? In this type, the test taker will choose the best answer from 4 alternatives, or the best 2 from 5, or the best 3 from 7 alternatives. Then sometimes you are demanded to choose 1 from 3, or 2 from 5, or 3 from 7 choices. So some tips to follow for the multiple choices. So as we mentioned that one of the tasks that we should follow, or one of the task types in the reading test, or type of the questions in the reading test, is a multiple choices. So the multiple choices has many steps to follow, so as to know how to answer this type. Then first of all, read all of the choices quickly and highlight the keywords. This one is very important. In the all tests, in any test, you should have to look for the keywords, because this one helps a lot. Read all of the choices quickly and highlight the keywords. Start reading the passage till you reach the answer. Then you read the next question and continue reading. So the strategy of answering the multiple choices. So of course you're going to have a passage, and then you answer the questions out of the passage. So what should you do first? Some candidates prefer to read the whole passage and then go and read the questions and start answering, and some prefer to read the questions and then go to the passage. Everybody has his or her own strategy, but I think one of the strategies that you should follow, first of all, you should have to for example, you have one passage, and then you, out of this passage, there are, for example, 5 questions that should be answered out of this passage. First of all, go to question 1. Read question 1 and try to understand it well, and go to the passage. So start reading the passage. Then after you find the answer of this question, the answer, for example, might be at the beginning of the passage, in the second line, in the third line. After you find the answer, then try to write the answer, and then after that read the next question, and then go back to the passage and continue the reading, and then this way can help you more. Also, read each option one by one, even if it's incorrect. Read each option one by one, means the option that you had given in the multiple choices. So you should have to read them one by one, try to understand them, even if one of the options is incorrect. correct. Look for the synonyms. This word is found anywhere: reading, writing, speaking, listening, and so on. Using synonyms means using another word with the same meaning. Don't keep repeating the same words. So look for the synonyms. So when you find, for example, a word in the questions, the answer might not be the same word, might be a synonym. So try to look for the synonyms or to other words with the same meaning. Correct answers are usually paraphrased. Okay, beware of any answers that repeat words from the text. Any answer that you find with the word repeated in the text and in the question, so try to understand it well. Beware of it, take care of it. It might be a trick. Cross out any options which are incorrect. For example, when you come across the whole options and you find this one is correct and this one is incorrect, so try to cross out the one which is incorrect so as not to make any confusion for you. Then put question marks next to any options you are not sure about. So if you're not sure about this one, so try not to think more about it. Try not to spend much time in this one. So try to make a question mark or to put a question mark next to this one and move on. So after that you can come back to it if you have an extra time. The second type is identifying information or the writer's view or claims. Then in this type, the test takers will be given some statements. This one, you will be given some statements and asked whether the statements agree with the information in the text. So then they write true, false, or not given. True, false, or not given. Or instead of true or false, you can find yes, no, and then not given. So they are the same, true, false, or yes or no. Then, and this is the most difficult part of reading. Let's come across some tips about them. So true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given is one of the most difficult types of the reading test. So try to go and find it carefully. So let's go together and see how can we deal with this type of questions. Okay, a true or yes. The first type, for example, I'm going to talk about true, false, not given in details one by one. The first one is true or yes. So when to write, we want to know when to write true or not true. So when fact is clearly written and you see it and come across it in the text, then you can write true. Is it clear? When to write true or yes? When the fact is clearly written, means the fact that is mentioned in the question, it is clearly written in the text and you see it or you come across it. In this case, the answer should be true. Okay? So, but if it is fact and not written in the passage, don't write true or T. How? Means, for example, if they say, if in the question they mention the sun rises from the east, okay, then it's true, but in the passage you find that the sun rises from the west. So now they are opposite, is it right? So means here in the question the fact is true, but unfortunately the answer is not true. You cannot write true because the question and the answer you find in the passage are opposites. So synonyms are also true. Synonyms, as we know that synonyms mean the same meaning but different words. So for example, this increase in cybercrime alarmed many experts too. This increase in cybercrime alarmed many experts too. So you find this one, for example, in the questions. Then in the in the passage, for example, in the question you find, if you find crime or cybercrime is on the rise, cybercrime is on the rise, so here are the same, so the answer will be true. So you need to understand the keywords quickly and go to the passage. Here, for example, increase equals rise. Increase equal what? Rise. So means the same, just they use the synonym, the same information. Cybercrime is on increase or on rise, and here you found increase in cybercrime. So the same information. So in this case, the answer is true or yes. Also be careful with the words like some, all, only, never, sometimes, usually. So these words might change the answer. If they say, for example, some people in Canada like to eat protein, some people in Canada like to eat protein, then in the question you find protein is always eaten by Canadian. Protein is always eaten by Canadian. So in this, in the first sentence you get some. Okay, here say some people in Canada. Okay, and in the second sentence you get always. So in this case the sentence is not true. Why? Of course they're talking about the people in Canada and they're talking about protein, but here in the first one they say some, means not all of the Canadian, and here they say always Canadian. Here they didn't mention whether some or all of Canadian. So when they say always, means always Canadian. They didn't say some of them. So means here they are opposites. So when the information is opposite, so the answer should be what? Not true. Might be false. So what about false or no? If you write false or no, means that the fact is opposite. So you have to be careful. All versus some, or often versus always. Be careful with these words. Example, in the question you get all children eat chips. This is, you find this one in the question, but you find in the passage some children like chips. Some, say some, and in the first one all. So the answer here will be false. Why? Because of all and some. Example also, the first personal computer was invented in the 1970s, and in the second one, or in the answer, you find personal computers were first invented in the 1990s. So first you can look at the keywords, they're all matched except the date, 1970 and 1990. So here also the answer is false because they are opposite. Not given. Okay, when the answer can be not given. So it's used when means you're not given can be written or used when the fact is not written or totally different or opposite. These are the cases that you write not given under. So example, although once eradicated, destroyed from Toronto, bed bugs have made a comeback and now considered one of the leading pets in the city. And in the question you find rats are the most Canadian annoyance Torontons face. So the answer is not given. Why? Because here the creature that we mentioned in the first one or in the passage was bedbug, and in the second one was a rat. So here the information is totally different. The first one was talking about something and the second one was talking about something else. So the answer should be not given, means the information of the rat is not given in the passage. When you make a comparison between the keywords, you get some matching, but the information is not about the rat in the passage. So the answer is not given, or NG. Matching information. This is one of the other type of the reading task. Here, the test takers put specific information in the lettered paragraph or sections or a text and write the letters of the correct paragraph or sections in the boxes on their answer sheet. Okay, here you get what? The test takers put specific information in the lettered paragraph or sections of the text or of a text. So, and write after that the letter of the correct paragraph or section in the box on their answer sheet. Just you get the letter of the answer and then write it in your answer sheet. Matching headings. Matching headings, usually test takers are given list of headings referring to the main idea of the paragraph or section of the text. Means, for example, the text consists of 5 paragraphs. In each paragraph, for example, we write a letter. For example, paragraph 1 we write A, paragraph 2 B, paragraph 3 C, and so on. Then you have the headings. For example, 5 headings. Then here they must match the headings to the correct paragraphs. So means, first of all, you read the headings, for example, and you read the paragraph. If the heading is matched with this paragraph, so you can write in the answer sheet, for example, paragraph A with heading number 2. Okay, matching headings and paragraphs. So there will always be more headings than the paragraphs. So if you have 5 paragraphs, there might be 6 headings, so, or section. So some headings would never be used. Number 5, matching features. Test takers match a set of statements or pieces of information to a list of options. So they might be required to match different characteristics to age groups or events to historical periods. Number 6, matching sentence endings. matching sentence endings. The test takers are given the first half of the sentence, then based on the text and choose the best way to complete it. So they will have more options to choose from than there are questions. So here you get the half of a sentence from the passage. Then you also have the other halves in the choices. So you choose the suitable half and then match it to the answer. Sentence completion. Here the test takers complete sentences in given number. Okay, means you get a sentence with missing words. So for example, you are asked to write not more than 3 words to complete this sentence or to fill the gaps. Then so you read the text and then come and write the words. Okay, so writing their answers in the answer sheet. If test takers write more than the number of the words asked for, they will lose the mark. So if the instruction says write no more than 3 words, so don't write 4 words. You can write 3 or 2. Summary note, table, flowchart, completion. Then this type of texts or these types of questions, that in this one the test takers are given a summary of a section of the text. You get a summary of a section of a text, then and are required to complete it with information drawn from the text. So several notes refer to as notes. So the answers to all these types of questions will not necessarily occur in the same order, so as in the text. However, they will usually come from one section rather than the entire text. So might be from the first paragraph, but not in order. You might find the answer of question 1 in line 3 and the answer of question 4 in line 1, and so on. Means not in order, but in the same section, not in the whole passage. Then that's the end. So thank you for being with me, and I hope you get the beneficial of the reading test and the information that I have given you. So please support my channel by making like, subscription, and pressing the bell. So thank you and see you later.